everyone. Okay, as I've received so many requests to know how to do this, I thought I'd try and make a little video on it. Please be kind, I've never done this before, so fingers crossed you'll understand. This is the cup chain that I've been using in the bag charms and what have you, if you've seen my posts on Instagram. And I've received a few requests on how to loom it into different bracelets and what have you. The latest request being, how does it go in the Showgirl bracelet? The theory is the same for pretty much any design that has a single band running through the centre. This is 4mm chain. 4mm refers to the size of the stones. I've found that's the best size to use. Anything smaller tends to get lost in the bands. Anything bigger tends to distort the design. But of course the choice is yours and you can buy it in 3mm, 4, 5, 6. 5mm should work okay actually. What you're going to need to do it is of course the tutorial for the design you want to do. And I use two hooks. The double-ended crochet hook that we're all familiar with for hook designs, and the rainbow loom hook, because it's got a nice deep hook on it which helps me hold the bands out the way while we put the chain in. So let's see if I can show you how to do this. I'm going to do it with the Showgirl bracelet because that was the latest request from a very polite young lady. So standard start, you want your cap band for the Showgirl. There's a tutorial already on YouTube for the Showgirl bracelet, so we won't spend too much time going over how we actually make that. But you want your setup, which is 8 loops on your hook, which I'm going to use gold for. So whatever you're using for the border colour, you want 8 of them. 8 loops anyway. The rainbow loom hook we're just going to use to divide them up and hold them so we can put the chain in as we go, which is easier than trying to thread it through afterwards, I've found, although I do know some loomers that do that very, very successfully. I always end up overstretching the bands when I do it, or twisting them, or maybe just because I'm too heavy-handed, so I worked out how to do it this way. Pretty sure I've got too many bands on there, but still. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, one too many. See, talking and looming. It's not a plan. Not quite sure how I make a tutorial if I don't talk and loom, but we'll give it a go. Okay. Bands are on the wrong side for me, aren't they? Right. So 1, 2, 3. So right. So there we have a standard 8 loop setup. Geez, I hope this camera is focusing. Okay, so standard 8 loop setup. So what we're going to do after that is get some of these out of the way, and then we're going to put our centre band without any chain through it to start with through these middle 2 here, just the 2 middle ones. So through there, leave those 2 middle ones down on that band and close that one up like that. Okay, then we get another one and pull it through all of those, hold it off to the side and just pick this one up. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this actual explanation of the design, because I say there is already an existing YouTube tutorial for it. So then we're just going to add another border band in. And repeat that on the other side. Like that. Take another one. Pop that one through there. Like that. Okay. So that's what you should have, which if you've watched the Showgirl tutorial on Jace's channel before, you'll already know how to do that. So then what we want is another band, another center band here. But before we do that, no, what we're going to do is put the center band through first before we add chain. Okay. So take your center band and, as you would, pull it through the middle four. Okay. But instead of leaving them down there, we're going to pick these two up. Pick everything else up. And rearrange that center band so it actually sits in the middle. Like that. Okay, right. Now this is where adding the chain comes in, and indeed where your rainbow loom hook comes in. So what we need to do is divide the design in half. Like that. And we need to separate that out by taking your rainbow loom hook, pulling down on the bands and just sliding that in to half of the loops on your hook. In this design, we'll be taking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops. And then we're going to take them off and hold them carefully like that. Now, if I hold this, hopefully, you can see that in here, there's that center band we just pulled through. Right there. Okay? So what you want to do is take your chain and take the first little stone and push it in between, she says, that band. This is probably the trickiest bit. Once you've actually got that secured, it gets a lot easier. So that needs to push down in between that center band like that. Okay. Then, once you've done that, you can replace all of those back onto your double-ended hook. Okay. And there's your little rhinestone sat in between the first one. So then you just continue with the pattern, which in this case is another white band through there. And we're going to pick all of those up like that. It's a good idea to make whichever design you're doing that you want to put the chain through first without chain, just so you're comfortable with the steps. You don't have to, of course, but I think it probably helps. Okay. So that's that. And then of course we need to secure those white ones in with a border band. Like that. And one on this side too. Okay. Now, that should bring you back to 12 loops, and we're ready for another center band. So, as we have chain in this one, we need to incorporate this chain as we loom. So what we're going to do is get to the length of your chain and just pop your band through that one, and see if you can just hold it up there out the way like that for the minute. Okay, and we're going to divide the design up again with our loom hook. So come down and pop your hook in those first 6 bands. Oh, there we go. So you've divided the design off, and then we're going to take this band we threaded up our chain and place it between the hooks. Where you want your band to sit is in these little spaces between the rhinestones, of course. So hold that one there and pinch that one, and just use your rainbow loom hook to pull it through everything you've got there. Okay, and then we're going to use the other side to pull it just through those 2, as we would. Then we're going to pick up the 2 center bands like that, and pick up these 4, and finally just take that band off your hook. And you can put your rainbow loom hook to one side and maneuver that band into the center. One more that way. There we go. So now that's in the center, and you've got your second rhinestone in the middle. Oh, I hope you guys can understand this. I've got a feeling I'm making this sound far more difficult than it really is. Shall I do it again? I'll do it again and hope it goes a little better. So now we're at that stage, it's time to do the next sequence. Okay, so we need a white band, which we're going to take through first 6, and then we're going to pick up those 3 and pop that one back on there. Okay, and secure it with a gold band through those 5. Pick up that white one and close that off like that. Okay, turn it round and do the same thing to the other side. Like that, through those 6. And pick those up. Another gold band through those 5. And pick up 2. Okay, now we're back to where we need to add another center band to secure another stone up the center. I like to always work from what is essentially going to be the front of the bracelet, so I don't know why. I think I can just see better what I'm doing. So we'll push that back up there, like that, and get our next centre band. And again, we're going to thread that band onto the chain, like that, and just hold it there. Grab our rainbow loom hook, and again we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops over onto our rainbow loom hook, like that. Okay, so we've effectively divided the design in half again. Put one end of your new centre band onto your rainbow loom hook and the other end onto there, and put a little bit of tension on them just to hold it there. Don't overstretch it because we don't want to ruin the band. Get that band to sit in the next gap in your chain. Just pinch it to hold it there. Take your rainbow loom hook and pull that band through everything you're holding. So all you're now holding on your rainbow loom hook is the centre band. On this side, we're just going to pull it through these two here, like that. And then again, we're going to pick up these two centre bands. Okay. And this one, this one, and this one. And pop that off like that. Then we can rearrange that one so it sits in the center, which just means moving these over slightly. There we go. Remove those 4 bands out of the way. You can now see we've added another centre band here. This one here is the one we just added. And we've got another stone up the middle. Okay. It's not difficult. It's just a little bit fiddly to get the first one in. So I'll do that one more time. So I want 2 of those. Oh dear, 2 of those. And another centre one. Okay. Here we go. So now we continue with the pattern, which is going to be through 6. Pick up that one, that one, that one. Flip those 2 out the way like that. Then secure it with a border band. So through 5. Pick up that one and that one. Repeat on the other side. So through 6. Like that. Pick up that one and that one. And that one. Put that one off. And again, we'll secure that with a border band. Like that. Okay, now turn this back round to the front because now we have to add another centre band and incorporate another rhinestone. Okay. So centre band, thread that onto your chain. Take your rainbow loom hook and divide your design in half again. So for this design it's through 6 loops. And divide that in half, like that. Put the band you threaded onto your chain across the end of both hooks. Pinch in to the next gap in your chain and use your rainbow loom hook to pull through everything you're holding. Use your double-ended crochet hook to pull just through those two. Okay, so that's what you should have. Okay. Then you're going to pick up that one and that one, do your middle two, skip one and pick the next four up, and then finally you can take that band off your rainbow loom hook back onto your crochet hook. Move it to the center by moving those four bands out of the way, like that. And then we've incorporated another stone into the design. Okay. That's pretty much all there is to it. Just keep going until you get to the last stone in your chain, and then finish your bracelet off as normal. Do remember though that once you've put the chain through them, of course they won't stretch anymore, so you'll need to use an ordinary jewellery clasp, lobster clasp or something to close them with, otherwise they won't stretch. So there we go. I hope everyone understands. I've got a feeling, as I say, I've made it look a lot harder than it is, but it really isn't. It works with almost any design that has a centre band, as long as that centre band isn't too far apart in each pattern repeat. So, hope you guys have fun, and thanks for watching. Bye.